Hello everybody, good afternoon, people all over the world. This is Ronnie Sarangaya from Tokyo, Japan. Today's YouTube video is a very special one, and which the most people love that, I hope. Well, title is quite heavy of today. What is the real salvation of the death agony of humanity? Releasing from reincarnation is possible? You can find the answer here. Sublime Transmigration. Let's start. What is the real salvation of this agony of humanity? Releasing from reincarnation is possible? Yes, you can find the answer here. Sublime Transmigration. The day has come that everyone in this planet will transmigrate into the next world, heavenly world. Who is Ronnie Sarangaya? I am. Ronnie Sarangaya is a pen name or pseudonym. Live in Tokyo, Japan. Live in the USA, United States, America for 6 years. Study in England and France. Visit 21 countries. Blogger and YouTuber and Divine Mission Disseminator. Voluntary task, no money related, I don't ask you any money. Middle-aged man. From outer galaxy. Recruiter of the Divine Troop to change the world. Experience the brain development. Skull expansion by the divine power. Devoted follower of the incarnate God Master Kanichi Otsuka. Ordinary office worker. Well, this YouTube video is not directed by any organization, by anybody, just this is a voluntary task. Most updated word, true information disseminator. You will love my information retrieval. This page is quite heavy for you. Death. Everyone in this planet will pass away, no matter what effort is done so far. Even if you are the millionaire or president of the big company or from royal family in any countries, you will not be able to escape from death. Isn't that right? Almost all people in this planet do not love death, do you? Want to live long or forever. And many of them are afraid of that, since most humanity die of illness or accidents, not that much peacefully, in many times with pain or, with agony. Here is materialism. The people do not believe in, spirit or after death world. History of materialism. Materialism is a form of the philosophical monism, which for that matter is the fundamental substance in nature, and that all things including mental aspects and consciousness are results of material interactions. Such being the case, it doesn't admit the life after death. Even human consciousness is born by material. After death nothing remains, just empty, nothing there. Well, these people are existing in many countries. Here is a near-death experience. This is a kind of the people almost dead but not dead yet and coming back to this world. And from body, the spirit is going out. Well, a near-death experience is one in which a person who should have died clinically enters a channel of the light and exchanges presence and greetings of relatives and light. They are said by some existence that you are still early to die and sent back to this world and awakened. There are many reports in common. According to our 46% near-death experience, there seems to be not only one world after death. It's separated. If you go forward in the world after death, you will notice that there are different hierarchies. Some have experienced places that seems to be hell, which is a world of cruel suffering. Materialists and scientists claim that the near-death experience is simply a hallucination due to the oxygen deficiency to the brain or other neurobiological effects. So materialists do not, accept this phenomena. Anyhow. Are there any world after death? spiritual world existing, hell or heaven existing? This is very philosophical questions of what humanity is supposed to have, even you are religious people or materialism people. Here is Emanuel Swedenborg, who researched the spiritual world. Born in January 29th in the 17th century, Swedish scientist and philosopher, Christian mystic, theologian, Swedenborg had a prolific career as an inventor and scientist. At the age of 56, he entered into a spiritual phase in which he experienced dreams and visions of the afterlife. This culminated in a spiritual awakening where he claimed he was appointed by the Lord to write a heavenly doctrine to reform Christianity. He claimed that the Lord had opened his eyes so that from them on he could freely visit heaven and hell, spiritual world many times, he said, and talk with angels, demons, or departed people and other spirits, who passed away already. For the remaining 28 years of his life, he wrote and published 18 theological works, of which the most best known was Heaven and Hell, and several unpublished works. This is Heaven and Hell. I actually read this book and very impressed, surprised actually. Here is a Japanese people who really looks like Swedenborg. He is still alive. He also wrote a book about Shiki, going to death, kind of. He wrote here, I'm going back and forth between the spirit world and the human world over and over for 40 years. What I have been seeing and heard at that time, how to connect with the human world and the spirit world, how to engage in this world and afterlife. What kind of life should I send? I try to spell it here or something. Our true life begins when we die. Please think that life in this world is being examined. Depending on the result of the examination, the next place to go is decided. To put it simply, how much love of altruism you have made in your life. Love with altruism is I desire to make people happy, no matter how difficult they are. The spirit world is altruism, that is, only love exists. Good intentions given for others are definitely not erased. It is because spiritual growth is obtained. That is the most important thing for spiritual world, and there is no other purpose. He is saying that is how many people he saved. The people who saved how many others will be deciding the world going to next. And the real purpose of the humanity in this planet is to level up, evolve the spirituality. That is, he says. Okay. Do humanity reincarnate again? Can humanity be released from reincarnation? Reincarnation also is a debatable topic and very difficult anybody to prove the existence anyhow. Yeah. How about Buddhism say? Gautama Siddhartha, founder of the Buddhism, he said the real salvation of the humanity is a release from the reincarnation. We say Gedatsu in Chinese characters, Gedatsu. Buddhism that Buddha started, but it has the original aim, that is release, Gedatsu. But to disengage from that, it is from the circle of reincarnation. It's a primitive religion of India. There was the India idea that human life is eternity. By dying, the soul will be reincarnated somewhere in the 6 places, Rikudo, we say again, and we will spend our life again. Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, thought that living was a pain, so living forever is a suffering that will last forever. That is why he aimed to get out of the circle of the reincarnation that creates eternal suffering. So the Gautama Siddhartha said, How to release from reincarnation, relieve from reincarnation. Very important. That is a real salvation. Here is Sarah, that whom I read the books. She is Sarah. She said she's a wanderer, E.T. soul, codename Sarat, born with the soul of the alien. It was 130 million years ago that she came from Earth for the first time. After the death, the soul who was born in this planet goes to the rehabilitation center, the astral field, and the soul is reborn and then returns to his master soul from there, where reinstating from the master soul again will be on the planet by choosing according to the purpose of going to another planet. However, in the case of souls of many earthlings, since souls are mostly going to the ghost world built by the gigantic civilization of the universe after death. In the case of souls of many earthlings so far, neither new age of the soul nor the soul's new generation is performed. Reincarnation has only been repeated among the earth. She's saying here that only in this galaxy, particularly in this planet, there is kind of the ghost world. It's it's like a jail. So from Earth to this ghost world, from here to here, going back to Earth again. So only this Earth has a kind of reincarnation circle type of things. Well, nobody can prove that. But anyhow, this is a good concept. Very new concept after the death. Okay. She wrote many books and tried to disseminate her mission. She's also saying that how to release from the reincarnation in this planet is a real salvation, to go to another astral field. Alright. This page explains historical example of salvation of death agony. Many religions tell us that humanity is relieved from death agony and enter the heaven or leave from any more reincarnation. Dead body do not change at all for a long time. No rigor mortis nor putrid smell. This physical mystical phenomenon after death has been written about in Christian, Taoist, and Buddhist scriptures. Historically, such cases have been extremely rare. Usually it happens only to well-known priests or people considered saints and is witnessed by very few people. Well, from next page I'll explain to you. First example, Taoism, Shikaizen by Taoism. One of the ways to become a hermit in China, Taoism, after death by physical body dissolution, becoming a hermit as if Shikaides will escape from the shell. In this case also the dead body do not change at all, but there is no evidence, no proof. How about the Japanese case and holy priest Kukai, very famous historical high-ranking priest, Kobo Daishi, in other name, in the 8th century, around say 1,200 years ago. This is a picture of the Kukai. After long meditation, Kukai advocated the treasure of Maitreya Bodhisattva with his disciples for 10 days and 4 hours, and he closed his eye quietly and passed away on March 21st in 853 in the posture of the Zazen style. His dead body's appearance seems to be alive and didn't change at all after 49 days after death. The beard and hair were growing. Well, but in this case also there is no evidence. Nobody proved that, if this is correct or not. But anyhow, that he passed away very peacefully and his dead body do not rot at all, change at all for a long time. And here is a case of the Mahasamadhi by Yoga. Okay, I don't read this one. And this Yogananda's case of yogi, very high-ranking yogi priest. there is evidence because he did this in a TV program. On 1952, Yogananda entered the Mahasamadhi, a God-illuminated master's conscious exit from the body at the time of physical death. His passing was marked by the extraordinary phenomena. An authorized statement signed by the director of Forest Lawn Memorial Park testified no physical disintegration was visible in his body even 20 days after his death. This state of perfect preservation of the body is an unparalleled one. Yogananda's body was apparently in a phenomenal state of the immutability. He's said to be there is no changing of the body after death. Very extraordinary phenomena, meaning that real salvation from the reincarnation or death agonies. Alright, this is evidence. But, however, finally, the day has finally come to humanity that death agony will be saved and everyone will go to heaven and released from the any more reincarnation. That is Sublime Transmigration, happening every day in here Japan, divine country, among the followers of the incarnate God Master Kanichi Otsuka. What is Sublime Transmigration? Incarnate God Master Kanichi Otsuka promised salvation after death and provides actual proof of that salvation. This proof is shown by the extraordinary signs accompanying the deaths of the followers. These signs are not so clear that we use a special term, Sublime Transmigration, to describe such a wonderful passage into the next world. Believers of the Master Kanichi Otsuka takes his or her last breath in peace, as if living on a happy and worry-free journey. Blessed by the divine power, they have no fear of death whatsoever. After death, rigor mortis doesn't occur and the body temperature doesn't drop for many hours. The person's countenance becomes very sublime and noble. A follower doesn't just die because the soul might transmigrate in the extrasensory world of eternity. Such magnificent transmigration into the next world have hardly ever been achieved, as I explained in previous pages, even by saints or eminent priests of other religions. Alright, about incarnate God Master Kanichi Otsuka. Master Kanichi Otsuka was born on Shikoku Island in Japan on 3rd May 1881. Even as a child, he predicted the future, cured the sick, and invented many devices. People looked up to him as a wonder child. Over a period of 10 years, he traveled widely and confirmed the reality of divine power not only around Japan, but also throughout Korea, Manchuria, Mongolia, and China. He visited high mountains and deep ravines where no humanity has set before. During these years, he exercised his divine power and confirmed his inborn unity with the fundamental principle of the universe. He taught people the divine way, the truth common to all fields, including medicine, education, and politics. Since ascending to heaven in 1972, he has constantly worked great miracles to help people throughout these 3 stages of their existence. He descended in Awa, Shikoku Island in Japan. This is Japanese island. Here is Shikoku, its part is Awa, old name. Famous for Awa Odori, our dancing. Well, Ronnie Saranga is not in a position to show his precious pictures because pictures has a copyright. Alright, that's would you please click this to URL if you want to see, okay? And let me explain the comparison, the ordinary death of humanity and sublime transmigration. Ordinary death, body temperature drops, body begins to harden with rigor mortis. Purple spots appear on the underside of the body where no blood has pooled and congealed. Putrid odor. How about sublime transmigration? Body remains warm and supple. fingernails skin color retain healthy color. No purple spots on the underside of the body. Body retains a normal present order. In some cases, age spots and other flaws disappear and the whitened hair of the elderly turns black. The body stays in this state for many hours, sometimes for days, the longest known documented cases being 9 days among followers. After cremation, the remains are not discolored or gray as usual, but snowy white. I'm talking about the remained, the bones of the, cremation body. A phenomenon which tends to astound the cremators. This sort of beautiful death is said to be proof that the person has attained spiritual salvation, which I have said in the previous pages about saints. This is also reflected in the face of the deceased, which is said to have a noble and peaceful expressions. We can compare. Master Kanichi Otsuka taught us transmigration is we can compare to the life of silkworm. There is eggs of silkworm, after hatching become rubber caterpillar and growing day by day. Finally, this caterpillar become cocoon, right? White cocoon. And after 4 or 5 days, suddenly this larva become butterfly. Okay. So totally change the shape, everything. But sometimes, as you know, some cocoon will black and do not, become butterfly. This way, black. This is the ordinary death of humanity so far. But from now on, the people can be a butterfly, transmigration. So this is a very good comparison. So humanity from death to transmigration. Very epoch-making change will be waiting for you, okay? By the way, so far I didn't give you any evidence or documentary films because I'm not in a position to disclose this kind of films for you. But the documentary films is here, and we have American follower. Actual Sublime Transmigration recorded films or videos are stored at the following below organization. Please quick. I am not directed by organization, so just I'll introduce you the organization. I'm not asking you to enter this organization. Just I try to disseminate the facts, okay? Located next to American Embassy at Kamiyacho, Tokyo, Japan. In Japan, these films are presented at the lecture meetings to introduce Master Kanichi Otsuka's precious teachings and salvation miracles, but not in the other countries so far. And we have American members, the follower. She is Oriental doctor, Christian Rain. She wrote about her own experience as well as, transmigration in her homepage. Master Kanichi Otsuka ascended to divine position on May 18th in 1972. I didn't witness myself, but this is I was taught by my, other colleagues. Master Kanichi Otsuka ascended on May 18th, 1972. This is called in Japanese Koshinza. Ascend to divine position and means returning to God. He was 81 years old. Master Kanichi Otsuka, who saved a lot of followers from death agony by letting them to go to heaven through miraculous sublime transmigration phenomena, represented the unimaginable divinity at the time of his own last moment in this planet. After ascending, it took until February the next year until the farewell service is ready to be formally settled, and in about 9 months between that, his holy divine body didn't change at all. It was warm and soft as glossy, without any change. Master Kani Chotsuka returned to divine position after executing his great divine task and mission on this planet and implement another important salvation planning in the universe. Such being the case, his ascending was not the end, but the beginning of the brilliant new age. It was in February 6, 1972, that the interment service was held and his holy divine body was rested in the Divine Advent Castle at Mount Manju, located in the west part of Tokyo Prefecture, Japan, holy place of the ultimate descent to Earth. Alright, this is really impressive facts. Lastly, I'll tell you Master Kani Chotsuka's precious prophecy to humanity. If my teaching, the ultimate Japanese Shintoism, spread to the world and mankind follow the way of God, the fear of death will disappear from humanity. The time has come that every single person will be able to do a sublime transmigration to enter the paradise in Buddhism, heaven in Christianity. When humanity loses the fear of death, people will be able to take advantage of their own natural talents to the best of their lives on this planet. How do you like these precious teachings? I hope you love it. Okay. This is the end of this presentation, today's YouTube video. Maybe it's just a bit heavy for you, but I hope you like it. Lastly, Ronnie Saranga is making the more than 20 YouTube videos about Incarnate God Master Kani Chotsuka's precious teachings and his performance in this planet. They have, saved many people, so many people by his divine power. So if you have interest, please subscribe my YouTube channel. Alright? Okay, thank you very much for intensive listening. Have a nice day. Goodbye now.